The next thing is to put the sears in. Again, you can't put these in the wrong side. The nose of the sear, which is lifted by the slide in the body, goes on towards the outside. So, and the little coil spring that's in them goes underneath a little flap at the top. And put the other one in. There it goes. Easy when you use the right tools. Turn the pin round in the right position. There it goes, it's in. And then finally, let the hammers forward and finally put the springs in. Now, that one's the left, and that one is the right. Hook them onto the swivels, and we've got this little dovetail piece which holds the springs in. Now, at the one end it's got a little number or a mark. This one's got a number on it. That is the left-hand side. So it's going in from left to right. The opposite side going in first. Now, just perch it into the one side of the box, and then we've got to push the spring down and hold it down while we push that across. Now, really you need something that was not going to mark the spring, but I don't have one handy, so I'm going to try and carefully push it down with a turn screw. Push it down, slide the dovetail halfway across. That's got the one in okay. Now the other one, we've got I don't want this to fly out. Push the other one down, push the dovetail across a bit more. Hold the screw, the end of the spring, and just tap the dovetail home. All assembled. The next thing is to hold the thing in the box in the vise and push back the ejector kickers. Now, it's easier to do one at a time, cock them, and then you can put it back into the 4-end iron. There's two little pegs on there which go in two little holes on the back of the 4-end knuckle. They go in there, and the thing just drops down, or virtually drops down into place. There we go, into place. Put the little screw back in which holds it to the 4-end iron, and it's done. What it does, the cam here is much higher than on other guns, and it fits into a slot that's cut in the extractors. Now these things here that pop up, American gunsmiths call them ejectors. Well, they're not ejectors because the ejectors are in the 4-end. See, the ejector kickers, they call these things ejectors, and they're not, they're extractors. They're called extractors, but they are split extractors. They're in two halves, you see. And if you say split extractors, that denotes an ejector gun. Whereas, if you, in this country, if you say an ejector, they think you mean an ejector means that one of these things, and it isn't. It's a split extractor. It's in two halves. Now, on with these, there is a slot cut in the leg of the extractor for that the cam works into that slot. It runs in that slot. Now, it's straight at the front end, and it's sloping at the rear, and it's shaped to do that way for a purpose, and I'll explain what that purpose is. Now, at the front end of the slot, it's straight. The other end, it is shaped like that. This is the leg of the extractor. It's shaped like that. Now, what happens when you open the gun, the cam pushes against this surface and lifts up the extractors so that you could lift the empty case out or the shell, unfired shell if necessary. But that's what the cam does by lifting on there. It does the primary extraction. But also the cam, when you close the gun after you've ejected the shells, the cam finds it's up here somewhere. It's up there, up the top. Now as you close the gun, this cam runs down this surface there, and it draws this extractor down from in the open position. After it's ejected, this extractor is out there somewhere. And what it does, it draws that down like that as it runs down this sloping surface. And then it passes this bump there, and it lies there. By the time it reaches that area there, the gun is closed, the extractors are down there, and the ejector mechanism in the fore end is cocked. Now, where's the other one? There we go. Now, the idea of that is so that now what happens, that's in the ejectors are fired, they're in that position. Now, as you close the gun, you can see it working. Now, as you close the gun, those extractors start moving down, moving in that way. The cam is pulling them down, and it will pull them down and down and down, and at no time until it's fully closed will those extractors touch the face of the action.